Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, it's the Dave Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Let me give you a rule of life. If you want to be something you're not, find someone who is that. Find out how they did it and what they do and who they are as people and become that. If you want to be a great father, find someone whose children say, I had a great dad. My dad is the best dad anywhere, and they really mean it. And then go talk to that guy. How do you raise kids that are like that? You want to have a great marriage? Talk to people who have a great marriage. Now, by the way, great marriages have struggles, but they have great marriages anyway. Go talk to people that have an incredible marriage and ask them how they did it. What do they do? You want to be skinny? Talk to skinny people. How do you do that? How many chocolate chip cookies do you eat? You know? You want to be wealthy? Find wealthy people and ask them, how'd you do that? See, there's all this liberal crap going around with these liberal politicians right now that says that America's not fair and that we should take money from people who have earned it and redistribute wealth because it's not fair. There's structural problems with the economy. You just can't get ahead in America. The American dream is dead. One actual moron wrote in the LA Times, this would be an LA Times guy, not a politician, and said that the millionaire next door is dead. And he was so tacky, he did that the week after the author of the book, The Millionaire Next Door, was killed in a car wreck. That's how moronic that guy is. And tacky, to say the least. Tom Stanley was a friend of mine, so I resent that. I'm still angry about it. But the millionaire next door is not dead. I've been doing this for 25 years, and I have run into millionaires, and I've asked them how they did it. And they tell me the same kinds of things. So a few months ago, we did our first ever Millionaire Hour, and it's becoming quickly a tradition on the Dave Ramsey Show. So if you are a millionaire, and let me help you with this, a millionaire is not someone who makes $1 million. I'm watching some idiot politician. You know, if you're a millionaire, if you make $1 million, well, you're an idiot. You don't even know what a millionaire is. The definition of a millionaire is someone who has $1 million net worth. Your net worth is determined by subtracting what you owe from what you own. Your assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. If you have a net worth of $1 million, if you have $1 million in the bank and don't have any debt, you have a net worth of $1 million. That makes you a millionaire. It's not your income. It's your net worth. Now, if you have $1 million and you had that invested at 10%, that's $100,000 a year income off your investments alone. So think about that. So that's why, you know, I want to be a millionaire someday. I want to be a millionaire someday. What that means when people say that is they want to achieve a net worth of $1 million because that will give them some financial security. It will give them the ability to be generous more than they are now. It will give them the ability to live life with a little bit of margin. So we asked a few weeks ago for people to call in and email in if they're a millionaire. And I'm asking you right now, if you're a millionaire, call, talk to Kelly. We want to hear your story. Because we're going to study for the next hour real millionaires. By the way, let me help you with this. 88%, that's 9 out of 10 of America's millionaires, are first generation rich. They started with nothing and became millionaires. And they come from every race, creed, color, nationality, sex, everything. Men, women, black, white, purple, Latino, whatever. They're all over the place. They defy logic in trying to define them demographically. There's something inside of them called grit that caused them to be able to save, to scrape, to claw, to win. They had hope and they believed. And so I can't stand it when people take away people's hope in the political spectrum and say, well, you can't win without me. I'll help you. I'll go to Washington. And anybody that believes that's just stupid. They're not going to help you. You got to help you. So a millionaire hour is before you, folks. Kenny is in Raleigh, North Carolina. Hi, Kenny. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Glad to be here.
Thank you for joining us. So you have a net worth of over $1 million. What's your net worth, sir?
I guess it's probably around $20 million.
Pretty cool. That's sweet.
Yeah.
And how in the world did you do that?
Oh, I was very lucky and inherited everything, Dave. No, that's not exactly how it happened.
You just blew my whole setup. What's wrong with you, Kenny?
Right. Well, I fell off the back of a turnip truck here in North Carolina, and and just got paid on it, is what it was. No, it was a lot of things, but there was really just one key moment, probably as much as anything. I started my company. It's a restaurant chain. I started it 24 years ago.
Which restaurant chain?
What's that?
What restaurant chain is it?
It's called Highway 55.
Oh,
Burger, Steaks, and Fries.
Well, no wonder you're worth $20
million.
million. Yeah, that's awesome, man. So no wonder you're worth $20 million. How many stores have y'all got?
There's 115 now. We're in 8 states, soon to be 10, and 2 foreign countries. Just opened up in Denmark. So.
And you started with nothing?
Started with literally nothing. I'd fired from a job, $500 in my pocket, and an 18-month-old son at home. And had just purchased our first home. So we were land barons for the first time, too, and here I was unemployed.
Land barons.
Yeah. Well, that's what we like to call it anyway. We were pretty proud of ourselves.
So how many years before you got to 5 stores?
Well, I actually got to 5 in year 2.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I did it. It was a lot of in-house financing, finding closed restaurants, remodeling them with my own scrubbing equipment and getting on my knees and doing a little construction and remodeling closed stores is kind of how I got going.
Gotcha.
Going to auction sales and buying
most
equipment.
Of your net worth is in the restaurant chain, I assume?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm also a franchisor. So we have franchisees out there.
Okay. But you didn't inherit anything.
No.
Your average income through those years must have been pretty spectacular.
Not in the early years. In the early years, one time, as a matter of fact, the first year I was in business, I remember adding it up. I worked open to close every day, 10 in the morning till 10 at night, and cooked the food and everything. And I think we figured it out one time, it was about $2.60 an hour, $2.60 an hour the first year I was in business. Yeah. And I tell you, but here was the scary part. If you'd have talked to me back then and you'd have said, hey, how's business? You'd have gotten a 45-minute dissertation because I was passionate about my $2.60 an hour job and what we were trying to accomplish. Yep.
You already could see the future.
I could see 20. Believe it or not, in the very early days, I could see 20. Even at the end of year 1, when I was $35,000 behind on my food bills, I could still see 20. I really could. And I didn't quite know how I was going to get there. I didn't physically know if I'd be able to make it because I was doing everything back then, but I could definitely see 20.
Did you graduate from college?
Yes, thank goodness for athletics because I graduated high school. I was middle of the road. As a matter of fact, North Carolina State recruited me and I couldn't get in. I didn't have the grades to get in. So thank goodness I was a pretty good baseball player, and I was able to go to Mount Olive, North Carolina, and play at the junior college for the first 2 years. So what was your GPA in college? Now, I did wake up in college. I grew up a little bit, and I ended up with about a 2.5 cumulative. So. What are you laughing at? I think that's
a GPA good, point per 10 million. Yeah. I like it. Hey, I want to ask you a couple more questions. Can you hang with me through the break?
Absolutely.
All right. Wow. The owner of Highway 55 Restaurants, $20 million net worth. Our first call in on our Millionaire Theme Hour. Kenny's with us. We're going to get a little bit more info when we come back from the break. It's a Millionaire Theme Hour. We're talking with Kenny in Raleigh, North Carolina, one of our millionaire callers, to learn about how to become a millionaire. He started a restaurant some 20, 30 years ago called Highway 55. Now he's got stores all over America. Net worth of $20 million. And had an average GPA in college of 2.5. That's another piece we established. Didn't inherit anything. Started out broke doing it that way. Is that a fair summary of what you told me so far, Kenny?
It doesn't sound very impressive, but that's pretty fair, yeah.
Well, it's a lot of hard work in between those years. How many years ago did you start?
It was 24 years ago.
And what would you say your average personal income is over all those years?
Over all those years, probably $200,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always purposely kept that down. As a matter of fact, a few years ago when the economy got tough, I remember my CFO walked in and said, look, everybody in here needs to take a 10% pay cut. And I said, nah, I can't do that. And I took a 50. I'm not telling you that so you clap me on the back. I'm just telling you that sometimes you hear people out there, they act like CEOs and we're all just, beasts and we take and run our people around and throw them crumbs. And it's just not the case. So, but yeah, I probably about 200,000, maybe 250.
How old are you now?
I'm 52.
Okay. And how many new cars have you bought in your life?
I just got one, and it's paid for. You'll be happy to know, and the listeners. But that's my thing. You know, it's not clothes. It's not anything fancy, jewelry, anything like that. It's an automobile. When I was growing up in a lower middle class, is what we like to call it, family, you know, seeing a cool car was kind of my thing. You know, and so actually I just got one. I traded a Tesla Model S for a Maserati, and basically did a straight up trade, and they're paid for.
Sweet car. So how many new cars have you bought in your life? So you're a car guy.
Probably 10.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Well, you can afford it. You can afford it, no question. Yeah. Talk to me about giving. What role has that played?
No, it's huge. It's what the whole company's founded upon. And if you got a second, I'll kind of explain that. It was 1991 that I started the company. In 92, I was $35,000 behind on my food bills, and I was riding home one night, and I just remember having this internal conversation, just running through my head. You know, you often hear people say, "Just be passionate and work hard, and you'll be successful." Well, I couldn't have been any more passionate. I couldn't have worked any harder, and here I was, $35,000 behind on my food bills. So I'm having this conversation, and I wish I could tell you the sky opened up or something dramatic like that happened, and it wasn't that way, but just as clear as I'm talking to you right now, a voice in my head said, it's not about you. It's not about you. And so, I mean, it kept me up about half the night, and I got up the next morning, and I changed the direction of the company. I made it about serving everybody else in the company, and within 6 months, we were in the black. And what I mean by serving them is we have literally made over 50 minimum wage employees owners of their own restaurants through the years, where we in-house finance them. They have literally started out at the minimum wage, worked into management, and then into ownership. And as a matter of fact, July 1, I'm selling 2 more to 2 young men that are very deserving. And, you know, so by turning the way I thought and making it about meeting their needs before my own even got met, that was the real breaking point. That was where the company changed. And and as we look for franchisees now, we're looking for people with that same character and that same integrity.
And by the way, that's more fun than all the other stuff we're talking about, isn't it?
It's awesome. I'll tell you, the first time that I was ever able to, you know, there's a lot of people out there that'll dangle that carrot and say, hey, come get it, you know, and people burn out. Well, when I said, hey, when I tell you can be an owner, and the first time I ever made somebody an owner, and I stood them up in front of the rest of the managers, and I said, look, this person's earned it. They've worked hard. They've done this and that. That was one of the proudest days of my life. That was, you know, that and my children being born were about hand in hand. It was really special. And every time we do it, it's just as special. So, but giving, yes, very big on it. We have a foundation, golf tournament. We raise money. We teach our 16 and 17-year-olds that it's not about them. You know, they actually bake cookies for our foundation. We raise money about 3 months out of the year. We raise over $100,000, about $125,000, and we give it away to kids' causes. So we're teaching them amazing lessons at the same time, more than just working in a hamburger place for minimum wage.
I hear you. Very cool, Kenny. Thank you so much. Wow. What an incredible story. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us. Hey, next time you're in Nashville, swing by. I'd love to meet you in person. Absolutely very cool. Thank you.